Hi there, and welcome to this latest dispatch from the Valley of the Stars. I'm afraid they are getting a little bit more sparse these days, as it's very busy here with the summer season, and thankfully loads of people coming to see us. Do go online though, have a look at the photographs and the captions and things, and find out who the latest uninvited visitor to our pool was this morning, and what happened when I ordered some feet from Amazon and was surprised to get the structural supports I wanted, and some bonus things the dogs were quite keen on discovering. Anyway, this week, Off-Grid and Entertaining in Portugal is entitled It's Actually Happening. Ignorance is bliss, but naivety is even more helpful. We've heard many encouraging words in the various iterations of these dispatches, from off-grid and ignorant, off-grid and open, and now off-grid and entertaining people in Portugal. And having welcomed quite a few guests already this summer, we love seeing their words left on the website reviews sections even more. Obviously, the 5 out of 5s and the 10 out of 10s aren't going to last forever, but right now we're loving it, and loving the people enjoying our infinity pool, those doing a wine story tasting, having breakfast, or joining one of our big table family-style meals. Congratulations, said Pedro, as I introduced our latest guest and his partner to the valley, explaining how we fell in love with a view at first sight and how it was all eucalyptus forest just a few years ago. I just explained their arrival had brought us a full house for the first time, all rooms occupied, and one hopeful guest sadly having to be turned away. It was another marvellous milestone on this journey towards running our own little Ecolux lodge in Alentejo. Our first full house involved an interesting mix of Dutch, Portuguese, French and British folk who somehow stumbled upon us and arrived curious about what we've done, or just in need of some well-earned summer rest. The following day was a second, not quite so impressive milestone, our first overbooking. We're getting to grips with the software which keeps all the calendars on all various booking sites up to date, but we made a mistake filling in the cleaning schedule spreadsheet, and it left us thinking we had room when we didn't. Easy to do, much harder to resolve. Thankfully, our friends at nearby Monte de Silveira had an open room, and we were able to solve the problem before the guests even realised there was a problem. In July, that's tough but possible. In August, everything will be packed, so we can't make that mistake again. A good lesson early on. Speaking of which, the calendar is now a sea of colour. We've been overwhelmed by just how many people have booked and how many keep calling every day, asking if we can fit them in. We've had a wonderful range of guests. German newlyweds on their honeymoon, a Polish couple who loved their wine and their wine tasting, 2 Spanish guys working in the area and loving the pool in the evenings. The banking consultant who helped us buy our flat in Lisbon more than 10 years ago arrived to celebrate her birthday, and we managed to get a dinner together. Rachel, Daisy and Ed the painter stayed a week. Ed will be back in October for his painting retreat. Just one space left. Mauro, the winemaker, walked the soon-to-be vineyard with me, suggesting when to do what to the land, how many bush vines to plant, and which grape varieties we'll mix in. There have been so many wonderful people, and all have left very kind comments. 2 young women arrived in a taxi, happy to spend all day in the pool and relaxing in the shade. We usually tell people that coming by car you get a much better chance to explore, but these guys were just incredibly happy hanging out here. September is also starting to get busy, and that's a fantastic time of year on this coast, with the ocean at its warmest and the summer rush of tourists having passed. That's why we'd like you to come and see us. If you go onto our website and booking engine and then enter the promotional code BLOG25 in capital letters and then numbers, BLOG25, you'll get a 15% discount from our soft opening rates for the whole of September. But don't tell anyone except everyone and your friends, and come. It'd be great to see you. It's a huge relief after all the worries about whether people would find us, whether they'd like the place, and whether they'd tell their friends about their time in the country, on the coast, off the grid as we sometimes put it. Well, they have. We're actually doing it. We've built it, and they're coming. It's been a little over 5 years since we arrived in Portugal in the middle of COVID, and the diplomat-journalist couple who'd bounced around the world for decades decided to give up their old lives and try running a business. In retrospect, the first few years were easy. We just had to spend money. Now we have to make it. Regular readers will know how funny those retrospective words sound and how I laughed when I wrote them, given the challenges that we've faced with funding, battling bureaucracy for permissions, project managing the construction and working out all the off-grid infrastructure. We almost gave up a couple of times as inflation soared, paperwork stalled so long we almost lost our funding, and we battled to keep control of our budget. Naivety has certainly been our friend. For 3 years, worries over water kept us awake at night. But now there's lovely, soft, mineral water running from the taps, and the off-grid systems are holding up well to the high demand. There's still plenty of DIY work to do, tweaking the occasional leaking pipe and putting in some extra infrastructure, but the focus has switched to something we're more practiced at, providing people with a warm welcome. It did lead me to the realisation I didn't have any nice clothes left, having trashed them all working on the land. Thankfully, Anna discovered a hidden box of the smart shirts I used to wear while reporting for the BBC. Crisply collared shirts worn with the sleeves rolled up in whatever war zone I'd been thrown into. Now it's a fabulous rollercoaster ride of guests arriving and departing as a new and steeper learning curve of invoicing, payment systems and booking engines is providing the stress we've been missing since we got our licence. At least the money is now coming in as well as going out. We take turns leading a little tour, explaining what the off-grid means, urging people to try and beat the 5 minutes worth of sand in the hourglass when they shower. Anyone showing a brief flash of additional interest soon regrets it, as I get into the weeds on pipes, pumps, LP-WAN monitoring systems, pH regulators and salt sensors. On that note, I have a short radio documentary going out this week on the rise of LP-WAN and the Internet of Things on the BBC's Business Daily programme. Not sure exactly which day yet, but they promise me it'll be this week. I officially bore myself now when I enthusiastically dive down the water-filled rabbit hole and confuse people with TLAs, 3-letter acronyms. Amid busy and creative breakfast making, and the fun bit of getting to know our guests who've somehow discovered us from all over the world, there's a new sea of bureaucracy that any small business owner will no doubt recognise. Invoices, 3 different rates of VAT, or IVA as it's known here, and balancing the books. It's all taught us how we're just one part in a complicated system of helping other people make money out of us. Everyone seems to get their cut, but I guess that's just how the world works. Luckily, the local parish council levelled our dirt road just in time for the summer rush, still providing guests with a suitable amount of adventure, but without as much risk to their vehicles. Thankfully, the guests who I accidentally and massively undercharged the other day came back to say they owed us money after realising my mistake. Business basics. They say ignorance is bliss, and we enjoyed being off-grid and ignorant in Portugal for ages, but now we have to step up and know what we're doing. There are big laundry and recycling runs to drop off the empties from our wine tasting events, visits to the local butcher and the lovely lady at the little cheese shop to show off to guests all the wonderful things we've discovered since we arrived. And there's something strangely satisfying about one-day turnaround of rooms as one set of guests leave just as another group arrives. Our marketing education resumes whenever we come up for air, and amid the demands of high tourist season, we make plans and put out posts for painting retreats and walking holidays in the autumn and the spring. It's a new and fun stage in our transformation from international travellers to hosts and professional entertainers. We took a bet on our beautiful view, and so far everyone seems to agree with us that this part of coastal Alentejo is something very special, with its wild beaches, hidden coves and great restaurants. We've still got a very long way to go. This will never be finished, but I think we are heading in the right direction. Thanks again for listening. Go online, valleyofthestars.co.uk, have a look at what we've been doing, have a look at the blog Off-Grid and Entertaining in Portugal, and I'll see you next time.